Hello there everybody, my name is JerDude here today with the June 2017 Q&A. Before getting into the questions, I want to first off give a big thank you so much everyone for 25,000 subscribers. I am currently working on a special celebration video that I was hoping to get up this weekend, but I'm going to be gone from Thursday to Sunday visiting a friend of mine, and so I've been preparing videos to upload while I'm gone and haven't had enough time to do the special video, but that will be out early next week. But just once again, such a crazy number, 25k. And then the second thing I want to quickly say is that I just got a brand new microphone in. It is called, for anyone who cares about microphones, the Electro Voice RE320. The older version of this mic, called the RE20, is still used in a lot of radio stations around the world. If you've listened to the radio, you've absolutely heard an RE20, but this is the newer version of it. And anyways, I like it a whole lot. It's definitely going to help me in my situations because it doesn't really pick up background noise a whole lot, and that's an issue that I've always had. So I've had to be selective of when I record, because my previous mic I've been using for the last 5 years, a Blue Yeti, I just couldn't record if there was a bunch of background noise going on, because that mic picks up everything around you, and this one just really picks up what's in front of it. Anyways, I think it sounds fantastic. I'm still messing around with some settings. I've just ordered one more accessory that'll also make it sound a little more clear. I guess I don't want to get too in-depth with it, but yeah, got a new microphone. I don't know if anyone really noticed, but it's definitely going to help me a whole lot. Alright, the first question comes from TBS FC53. They say, what weapon type would you like to add in Titanfall 2? I personally would like a melee class. Love the channel, by the way, keep up the good work. Well, thanks so much, I really do appreciate the kind words. For your question, my answer here is not exactly what you're probably looking for, but I would love to see like a dual-wield weapon class where, I mean, of course, it would probably be some like pistols or SMGs potentially. So not really a new weapon class, but I've been campaigning. Well, I don't know about campaigning, but I've said this a few times before. I really think that dual wield, doing good old akimbo style weapons would work fantastic in Titanfall 2, especially with how big a role hipfire plays. This is an addition that I think would complement Titanfall 2 very well, especially with the arcade-like, very fast-paced gameplay of Titanfall. I really do believe that, yeah, dual wield weapons would fit into this. Wobo Fets, do you have a girlfriend? If you don't, it's okay, I don't either. I am definitely not a 9-year-old. Well, I don't know about that last part. This is like the most common question I receive. No, I don't have a girlfriend. The reason why is that I have, for the longest time, have not really ever had any free time, as school took up a very large majority of my time, and, well, same with YouTube as well. I really do put a lot of time into YouTube, and I've been doing this for nearly 5 years now, doing it fairly seriously for the last 2-3 years or so, and so I've always been very busy, haven't really been able to get out, but now in my current situation, I do have quite a bit more time on my hands, which I'm going to first off focus into getting to a daily upload schedule finally, as I'm trying to take YouTube quite a bit more seriously now, at least in terms of time allocation. But that said, maybe I'll have a little more time to go out and meet the ladies, but it's never been a focus, and I don't think it ever will be. Like, I'll never be like, oh no, I gotta go get a girlfriend immediately, otherwise, I'm gonna die or something like that. No, it's just, if something happened, sure, that'd be great, but not really actively looking for anything like that. This is gonna be the last time I'll answer this question, because I think I've answered this, like, in 3 different Q&As now. Trevor Calderwood, JerDude, how did you get your voice to be so sexy? I tried the cream, but it honestly didn't work. Please help. I drink a lot of very warm water, borderline hot a lot of the times. That certainly is very soothing on the vocal cords, and also I'm able to drink a lot more water when it is at that temperature. With cold water, I mean, I'm fine drinking it, but it often will restrict the vocal cords. Now, with that said, I don't really think this has that big of an effect on it, but I don't know, man, I always have a bit of a theory, because I did start YouTube when my voice was still changing, so maybe because at the time I was really trying to force a radio-type voice, it just naturally came to me as my voice was still changing. I know this sounds ridiculous, but that's all I have for you. I don't have any other further answers. I still get comments occasionally. It's not that often nowadays where people will say, oh, what's with this fake voice, man? This is just all natural. I'm not forcing anything. With that said, I don't quite talk like this in regular conversation, but when I'm, like, as soon as I start making a video and I'm just doing a regular commentary, this voice just kind of happens. I'm not forcing anything. If I were to do my slightly more laid back, just regular speaking voice when talking to friends or family or whatever, I don't think I could do it right now, because it's just a switch. Like, I'm not forcing anything. So I don't know, I kind of got off topic of your question, but beyond that, I don't really have any tips. I'm sorry, I guess God just blessed me with his voice. Karsten/AtomicCat99. So, what's your situation about you and Iniquity? Who's dad and who's son? So, I didn't want to have to tell the story because it's... And I'm going to expand on this in the special 25k video I've got. Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but I guess I'll address this a little bit here. Yes, everyone, Iniquity Games is my real son. Back in the mid-80s, I met this fine vixen, and we had the best of times. We'd go to the arcade, we would go get a slice of pizza every 3 hours. That is often whenever we would meet up, we'd always be eating pizza. I don't know why. We actually gained about 75 pounds each through the week that we hung out together. But anyways, during this time, it was a magical... We're not going to get too in-depth with some other details, but all that I'll say is that out of that week, well, Iniquity was born. Now, the adoption process was a weird one. It definitely took a lot longer, and it was mostly just me doing the adoption. But anyways, yeah, so I adopted Iniquity, and then I gave him away, and now it's coming out that I'm his father that adopted him. I could be his real father, though. That's the other twist, and we're gonna have to still explore further. I just do want to confirm, though, that yes, Iniquity Games, Iniquity Rhymes, Iniquity, Derek, as I know him, Little Dare, as I would like to call him if he lets me. He's my son. He's my son. Okay? Thank you. Hockey B! Do you watch E3? If so, what games are you most excited for? Also love the vids. Well, thank you. For E3, I watched the Bethesda conference, as well as EA Play, and that was really it. When the Xbox conference was ongoing, I was at the zoo, so I didn't watch that. And when PlayStation was happening, I think I was gone somewhere else as well. What else? There's Ubisoft. I don't really care for a whole lot of Ubisoft stuff. Nowadays, besides Far Cry, is really the only game I'm looking forward to from them. But for other games, I mean, I'm still excited for Destiny 2, but there wasn't anything too major revealed. Call of Duty World War II, I'm definitely going to buy it. The multiplayer does look pretty good. And besides that, Wolfenstein 2, the New Colossus, I believe is the name of it. Incredibly excited for that. I did actually a full playthrough of the first title, the New Order, that came out 3 years ago now, and that was a fun campaign playthrough to do, so I really did enjoy that. I'm probably the most excited in terms of campaign for Wolfenstein 2. Besides that, there wasn't really anything that stuck out to me too much, and while you did ask about games, I'll bring up the Xbox One X. I think I'm actually going to get it. People are freaking out with the price tag. Why? For the longest time, people were predicting it would actually be $600 American. Then we were saying like $500 is probably likely. And then for some reason, like a week before it was officially announced the price, everyone was saying, oh, it's going to be $400. But then it comes out to be $500. I think that's a fair price tag for the technology that's going to be in the Xbox One X. And with having actual 4K gaming, I think I'm going to buy one. Especially another big bonus is that over here in Canada, if you don't know, I'm Canadian, but our dollar is quite weak right now compared to the American one. With that said, I thought that the Xbox One X may be closer to $650 or $700 Canadian, but it's only going to be $600 Canadian, so technically it's cheaper than the American if you do the conversions and such. So I think I'll get an Xbox One X. I don't have a 4K TV. Should maybe fix that. Just to wrap up E3 talk here overall, I thought this year was not the most memorable. Wasn't anything too crazy exciting. I would definitely say that 2015 and even 2016 were quite a bit better than this year. My favorite part of E3 for the conferences, though, was definitely Jesse Wellens, pretty famous YouTuber, announcing the new Need for Speed game. His teleprompter was turned off, I guess, and he didn't know what to do. It was a pretty comical moment. Definitely kind of cringy, but I felt bad for him, but I was laughing like crazy when that happened. Invincible03. How long does it take for you to make a video? Also, how many games? For the average live commentary, so when I say that I mean, of course, the challenge type videos is kind of the main type that I do for live commentaries, but I mean, I also do other videos where, well, for example, my most recent one with the Flatline, where I'll talk about a new nerf or a new buff and test out the change and just kind of have a little discussion while playing live. Those videos, definitely the easiest to make. If I'm not playing well, I'll scrap the video and I'll go start another match. And so I guess you also did ask that. Well, I assume that's what you mean by how many games. I will say that for an average challenge video, I'd probably give it, well, it really does depend, maybe 2 to 6 attempts, and in there I'll get something that works. And even if I do have a match that goes well, I'll oftentimes record an alternate version, a second one, just in case if I like the conversation a little more between both of them. So, I mean, there's a few alternate commentaries out there that none of you are going to ever hear, but not too long, I guess, time-wise, for playing, like an hour and a half at most. Then for editing, there's not a whole lot for live commentaries. Now, for the discussion-based videos, I always write a script, and when I say that, I mean like my DLC review video of Monarch's Reign, or just talking about Monarch in general. Those 2 videos in particular, I write a script. Those take about, like, I want to say half an hour or so to record that, put gameplay over it. Then for Titanfall Legends, though, watching submissions for top plays of the week, that takes about like 4 hours or so to watch the few hundred every week. Then after watching all those clips, I just kind of put the ones I like into a folder, and then I watch that folder. There's usually about 40 or so that I've cut it down to. Then I have to cut that down to the top 10, and then order the top 10, write a script, record everything, and edit it. So I would say that for top plays, that's probably like a 6, sometimes 8-hour process, maybe even 10. I think there's been some longer weeks where there's a lot of submissions I have to get through. And then actually pretty similar time frame as well for the top fails, funny and epic moments series, maybe a little less. There's a lot of time I put into YouTube. I would say probably an average of like 50, 60 hours a week. I want to up that a little more, to be honest, now that I have a bunch of time on my hands, but it's a very fun process. I really enjoy all the time spent. Also, just playing Titanfall 2, of course, does take up a decent bit of time as well. But, yeah, I put quite a bit of time into YouTube, I guess. Anonymous, JerDude, what's your favorite weapon in Titanfall 2 and 1? In Titanfall 2, it is a flatline. I think a lot of you know that already. I still do love the flatline, even though the recoil is kind of ridiculous compared to the other weapons for the most part in Titanfall 2. I have a lot of fun with it. In the first game, it was definitely the Spitfire. The way it worked in Titanfall 1 is as you held down the trigger, the recoil would go away, and it was just a very fun weapon to use. So yeah, I love the Spitfire in the first game. Jean Cardona, what was the first time you played a game, and how old were you? I believe I was 3 years old, and when I started gaming, and I started with Crash Bandicoot, the original game on the PlayStation 1. It is a 3D platformer, and I would still say to this day, the Crash Bandicoot, the original 3, and well, I really do like the entire series overall, is probably my favorite series of all time, which sounds kind of ridiculous. There's definitely a lot of nostalgia play in that. But yeah, so I started with Crash Bandicoot, and then played the second and third game as well, which I'm incredibly hyped, because in just a couple weeks now, there is going to be the remaster of the Insane Trilogy on the PS4, and I may do a full playthrough. I'll probably just do one video for each game, because there's 3 of them. The games aren't too crazy long, if you're not trying to go for any of the secret stuff. If you're just doing a full playthrough, I could probably finish it in a few hours. I may just do big videos for that. We'll see, but yeah, so that was the first series I ever played. And once again, I believe I was about 3 years old at the time. Cyberdunk HD. Hey JerDude, I started my own Titanfall 2 YouTube channel, and I was wondering, what can I do to get more views or subscribers? I mean, of course, with every YouTuber, I'm not gonna lie, when I do see growth, that's very good, and if I don't see growth, I see that a video series or a video idea I had is doing not too well, I'll scrap the idea and move in a new direction. With that being said, as of right now, pretty much anything I do, you all seem to enjoy, so I guess I'm doing something right. But to get back to the question, don't try to have the main focus to be growth. Just have fun making videos first off. That's still my #1 priority, is to enjoy the content I'm making. If I didn't enjoy this, then I wouldn't be making videos anymore. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 5.5 years now, so I'm still passionate about it. You just need to actually enjoy your time, which this is kind of a cliche answer. But then besides that, if you do want to try to grow, the Titanfall community is actually very strong, even though we're not crazy large, of course. Cover new DLC, maybe try to be topical with videos discussing new game changes, such as that. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what type of videos you're wanting to make exactly. Having a series or 2 that you can always return to is always a big help if you're ever running out of ideas for videos, which I'm not. But just for example, with the challenge series, there's always a bunch of ideas from the comments from all of you recommending loadouts to use, so that has always been a big help. Good luck to you, Cyberdunk HD. with your YouTube journey. Heroic Beast, what other games do you like to play, and what are you going to do when you reach your sub goal? To answer the latter portion of the question first, there's not really a sub goal at all. I just want to continue to do YouTube for as long as I can, which, by the way, I'm going to do like another announcement type video once it actually happens, but I'm going to be moving, I've said this a few times now, into a place with a very close friend of mine. His name is JerDude. He does Elder Scrolls Online videos primarily, and he's doing YouTube full-time now. I'm going to be attempting to do this full-time, at least for the next 5-ish, maybe 6 months or so, and just kind of see where I'm at the end of the year. And when I say this, once again, there's not like a money or a subscriber goal. Of course, I would love to see growth, but then the reason for that is so I'll be able to sustain myself and be able to dedicate all my time to YouTube, because I can't go homeless. And any money that comes in helps me to be able to continue to make YouTube videos at a high volume. Then for the other part of your question, what other games do I like to play? Right now, it has been Destiny. I've been getting a little more into Overwatch as well as Battlefield 1. And then besides that, that's kind of everything. And then Titanfall 2, of course. I really do love the first-person shooter genre. And yeah, that's everything. Not a ton of questions, but I tried to maybe go a little more in-depth than I usually do with my answers. Thank you so much to everyone who did ask questions. I will do another one of these next month. I originally wanted to do these at the beginning of the month, but I think I may push it to the midpoint, kind of where we're at right now. So, yeah, it'll be like a month or so around July 14th, 15th, 16th, something like that for the next Q&A. But once again, 25K is crazy. Expect a special video. Have yourself a fantastic day, everyone. My name is JerDude, and goodbye.